So PS5 games are selling like crap in Japan, at least at retail stores. Why the hell is this? I don't know. I'm just a man on the internet who has things to say. Things to say. I don't really know where I'm going with this intro right now, but let's just get into the news. I shaved before I did this video. Shaved my butt cheeks too, just in case you wanted to know. Did you want to know that? No, you probably didn't. All right, news time. Skip it up and that up. So as we know, and I've probably made 6 billion videos talking about it because it's free real estate. The PlayStation 5 is wildly successful throughout the world. And on top of it, it is very tough to get one due to the semiconductor shortage and manufacturer supply chain shortages due to COVID-19. It's like a perfect storm. I've explained it before. There's more demand for the consoles because there's more people staying home due to the pandemic. Then on top of it, because the pandemic is going on, there was a disruption in the supply chain because people weren't going to work due to the fact that they didn't want COVID to spread. So things weren't getting manufactured. So there's more demand, less supply, and then there's scalpers. It's a crap show out there. It really, really, really is. Well, sales of the PlayStation 5 in Japan have improved, but what about the software? At least from a retail perspective. Not talking about digital sales, but how's software selling for the PS5 in Japan? Not good. This comes from pushsquare.com. I'll read it to you, then we'll discuss. Now that stock is slowly becoming more available, the PlayStation 5 is selling much better in Japan. It's still not particularly spectacular, but in terms of hardware units, it has overtaken the PS4 and PS Vita when launched aligned, and is now catching up to the Nintendo Wii U. Oh boy. The latter may not particularly surprise you, but it was a source of many memes at the beginning of the generation. The problem is that software is not selling well at all, at least not at retail anyway. Obviously, there's some important context here. Famitsu's data, which this article is based on, only includes physical sales, so we don't know whether these games are selling better digitally. Obviously, trends worldwide have slowly started to skew towards the PlayStation Store, which I think everyone saw coming, so that's important context here. Nevertheless, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade managed just 20,889 units. This one isn't so bad, actually, as you could feasibly pick up a pre-owned copy of the original PS4 game and upgrade it, which we're sure many savvy gamers did. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, however, could only muster 14,663 units, which is a PlayStation 5 exclusive game. Yeah, that's not great. Now they go on to talk about other games like Guilty Gear's Strive's next-gen version didn't even make it into the top 10, just sold not even 12,000 units. And then Nintendo's game creation game, Game Builder Garage, debuted at 71,241 units, which of course, there's a much bigger install base of the Switch than there is of the PlayStation 5, but it's still a symptom of PS5 games at retail not selling well over in Japan. Now, why this is still a red flag, though, again, it's only physical games, it's not digital copies from the PlayStation Store, is that there's still around a million or close to a million PlayStation 5s supposedly that have been sold in Japan. Why isn't there more game? You would think new generation of console, people are amped about it. They want to get software, games come out. You would think even in retail and physical boxed versions, even though physical games are declining and more people are buying games via digital distribution, you would think that you would see bigger numbers for a freshly released hardware platform than what we're seeing with games like Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Here's the other problem that they think is going on. Scalpers are picking up the consoles and they're just collecting dust because they're looking to get $1,500 per console. Like literally, if you go out there, they're selling them, and this is generous if you see a scalper selling a PS5 at $1,000. So that's part of the problem, is that a lot of these consoles aren't being bought by consumers that are going to play the games. They're being bought by scalpers looking to resell them at exorbitant prices. So the attach rate of software to these consoles right now, because a lot of them are being bought by scalpers, isn't that high. So Sony has expressed concern in the past before about scalpers and these consoles being sold, but there not being an attach rate of software out there. And until the console is readily in store shelves, this is just the reality of it. Now, again, I would love to see the data from digital copies of these games being sold in the PlayStation Store. Maybe there's a ton of people. Maybe there's like 300,000 copies of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart that were sold in Japan digitally through the PlayStation Store. But even with that aside, and digital copies of games growing and physical copies being purchased from brick and mortar stores diminishing, these numbers are still exceptionally low, and that means that something else is going on. And unfortunately, it's probably people scalping the console to resell them, and they're not actually being played. They're just sitting in someone's closet because they're hoping they could resell them for like 3 times the price. That's just the reality of it. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one. Hey, if you enjoy my content, consider becoming a Review Tech USA member. I'll have a link below in the description. I live stream now on this channel all the time, and it gives you access to cool emoticons to use as well while I live stream. Again, link below in the description. Thank you for your continued support.